Hello, again, this is Timothy, and I'm gonna walk you through an upcoming collaboration. Let's get into it. So this is Asics. This is a Gel Kayano 14. This is probably their most iconic shoe, I would say, for a lot of reasons. I think that it defined a lot of different athletic shoes for a long time, and it was this really interesting blend of being really important for runners and athletes and be able to cover a lot of different ground at the time. And so it kind of gained this icon status, back in the day, and then it sort of stalled for a little while. It has reappeared in fashion, specifically off the heels of some of the hyper technical stuff that was happening in sneakers, but also wanting something utility minded, something comfortable, easy to wear, matches with everything. They really had that going for them early on. So this collaboration is with Juliana Salazar, who's a creative director, a stylist. You've probably seen her work if you follow this kind of stuff. A tastemaker, someone who's really working with a lot of some of the best brands out there and creating and defining their aesthetics, and by bringing forth her experience and what feels true to her. I followed her for a long time. I think she has a really interesting point of view, really clean approach. It feels familiar, nostalgic, but also feels modern and sophisticated and quick and utility minded as someone who's working on the ground floor with as a stylist, which is oftentimes glamorized but can be pretty dirty work. So I think this is a really interesting collaboration between those two mindsets and putting them together, and you'll kind of see that here. One thing that's important to note is it's a Kayano 14. It's going to look familiar right out of the box, and I'm going to point out some of the details here. So here it is right out of the box. Classic shape. You've probably seen it, you're familiar with it. The first thing to note is that this is an extremely comfortable shoe. This is an easy everyday wear. If you're someone who loves 990s or any of that series from New Balance, this is gonna feel familiar. One thing I'll note, as opposed to that line of shoes, this is an extremely light shoe. This is easy to wear, it's light. Things drape over it really well, because from the top down view, you can really see it has this great sort of pyramid shape that really lends itself to a lot of modern silhouettes, I think. For the collaboration, the colors are slightly different. So they've experimented obviously a lot with neutrals throughout the years to different degrees. They're calling it vanilla ice and eucalyptus. It's this really kind of green tinged beige that I think is really beautiful. It's gonna look awesome with anything you'd wear. I can see this with blacks, grays, anything tonally similar, but also jeans or anything bolder, it's just gonna fit in really easily. So it's just a great everyday shoe with this pop of color right here on the back that I think is super important, because it feels very her aesthetic and a slightly bold choice on a hyper neutral. It also comes with the laces that are gonna match the hit of the gel on the back, which I think is super cool and another interesting bold choice to make there. The other thing that you can see here is the sound mind, sound body saying. That's something that she has noted in her personal aesthetics and philosophy as a grounding point for everything that she does, which I think is super interesting, because it also really plays well with Asics philosophy. And I think that it's a nice saying to have there as a reminder of who she is and what her aesthetics are, but I think it's also something you can kind of take away as well. From there, it's a simple, straightforward shoe. It's meant to be worn every single day. I really like the marriage of this variation of neutrals that is gonna work well in anyone's wardrobe. Still get a pop, you still get that piece of the color that you're gonna see it on somebody and be like, oh, that's that, really great collaboration, as well as a little hit that's just for you. This is a fun, unique collaboration that I think also is really, really, really wearable, as I imagine someone that works in styling would want on their feet every single day. So this feels utility minded, feels pretty, but still neutral. I think it's doing a lot of work while not doing a ton, and I think that's what taste is, when you're able to marriage those two things. So really cool sneaker, super limited numbers. We expect these to go fast, so if you're in love with them, you feel like you have to have them, now's the time. We're super excited about it. I love her work, I love Asics. This is both of them together, so buy it up.